Since January 1960, there have been 53 games between these clubs. Western Suburbs have won 25, Canterbury have won 24, drawn 4. At Belmore, there have been 24 games, Canterbury have won 15, Western Suburbs 7, drawn 2. And here come Canterbury, and let's have a look at the full side. It's Greg Brentnall, Tony Armstrong, Andrew Farrar, Peter Mortimer, Steve Gearin, Garry Hughes, Steve Mortimer, Stephen Folkes, Geoff Robinson, Chris Mortimer, Taz Baitieri, Pat English, Mark Brennan. The coach, Ted Glossop. At Western Suburbs now, this is their full side. Wayne Smith, Michael Pinkerton, Steve Anderson, Ross Conlon, Warren Boland, Terry Lamb, Greg Cox, Michael Duke, Paul Merlo, George Fahd, Terry Leabeater, Arthur Mountier, Tom Arber, coach Terry Fernley. Referee Mr. John Gosha. Western Suburbs kicking off, running from left to right. Canterbury receiving the ball. The white uniform with the blue. Brentnall gets a bit of a serve after the kick. The referee says play on. Wayne Smith has it and kicks for touch. Barry Ross on the sideline.
Perfect conditions down here for football, Rex. There is a slight wind, and Canterbury captain Garry Hughes won the toss and decided to run against the wind in this first half, so it's a northeasterly wind favouring Western Suburbs.
Well, West, after that little kicking duel in possession, Wayne Smith has it. Midway between the halfway and quarter, Boland. Taken high there by Chris Mortimer, who's playing in number 10 in the second row. Canterbury have had a horrendous injury situation, lost a number of first-grade footballers, but I was pleased to see Peter Casillas back in reserve grade after knee surgery, and whether it was his match back, I don't know, but he went quite well. Conlon looking for support, couldn't get a pass away. The referee is going to play that as not a knock-on. Smith in possession. Long pass out there from Cox. Michael Duke tackled about 5 yards short of the halfway line. The scrum to be fed by Cox. That's a very clean heel to Arthur Mountier, but the penalty's gone against Western Suburbs. Incorrect feed. A bit slow with his signal there, John Gosha. It'll be slow and sure, I guess. Brentnall of the big kick will take this left-footed for the popular side of the ground. That low trajectory punt he does, a drop punt really. I notice with interest a lot of other fullbacks are emulating that too, as well as he's leaping for the ball to take bombs. Now Canterbury. Robinson. That was a tackle that was a little bit high, and referee saying to Leabeater, keep him down, keep him down. Wasn't a stiff arm. Garry Hughes. It's Brennan. He's a player I haven't seen much of. Beautifully taken by Wayne Smith, but he's tackled about a yard or two out from his line. Boland. Couldn't make any ground. And with Farrar the tackler. Leabeater caught by one leg. Only about 3 yards out from the line. Western Suburbs with George Fahd. For Merlo, only 10 yards out with the last tackle coming up. Cox elects to kick. He's kicked in the open spaces, and the ball's beautiful. Oh, and it was Duke there, couldn't retain possession. That's offside or knock on. The referee can take his pick. Yes, he's gone for the offside and holding too. But Duke takes that. He's going to certainly be up round the quarter. He was travelling, and Gearin will attempt the kick at goal. Gearin midway between the half and quarter, West's end. He's about 18 metres in from the sideline. There's the stat, 45 from 70, 64.3 success rate. And he struck that away to the left, hooked it slightly, and two West players collide. Boland has it. And beautifully picked off there by Farrar. Good diving tackle. Lamb. Merlo. Canterbury forwards up very quick in defence. Mountier still with that nose guard on. Leabeater. 13 yards out from his line. Cox calls for it. Elects to get a kick in, and it's much too big. About 2 yards. Long serving player of the Canterbury side, who I believe is retired, Stan Cutler, and came up with some mammoth number of games for the club, Barry Ross.
Yes, well over 200. Very close to the record that Chris Anderson would have broken.
There's a gap, and Coach has run right into the middle of it, up to the quarter, and a beautiful tackle from behind by Conlon. That just opened up there. There was no reason for him to get through there. Just went straight through the middle of the gap. Garry Hughes, little chip over the top. There could be a try here to S.Mortimer. Pulls it out of the air. Beautiful. Fair try. And exactly what you expect from this Canterbury side, who continue to keep the ball alive. A great run from folks led to this. Mortimer was onside, pulls it out of the air beautifully and caught the Western Suburbs defence well and truly napping. From head on, Wayne Smith should have been standing deeper. Fullback should not be in the line. And Mortimer had an easy passage and did it well. Gearin 13 yards in from the sideline, 4 yards inside the quarter. Kicking into the breeze. He's hooked that again. Struck it very badly, and it's well away. So the score remains Canterbury 3, West 0. Conlon drives it deep. It's going to go over the dead ball line. Is it? No. Did Brentnall touch that? The referee judges him not to have touched it. He evades one tackle, unloads that to Armstrong. Armstrong's got a bit of pace and gets it away nicely there too. They're just about 8 yards outside the Canterbury quarter. And it looked as though the ball was going to go dead. A good run from Brentnall to clear it away. Now Canterbury coming back, the crowd loving this. Robinson, they always rise for Robbo. That long hair. Now, I think he's had the ball stolen from him. That won't please his fans. Tom Arber. Just looking for a big game from this lad, Barry.
Yes, and he's been out for some time with a knee injury. He did come back last week in reserve grade and forced his way on the top side.
All right, well now the penalty's been awarded to Western Suburbs for stealing the ball on the tackle. And Cox elects to kick for touch. Results of the earlier matches: reserve grade Canterbury 27, West 21. Exciting game. Third grade Canterbury 14, Western Suburbs 19. On the blind side, Merlo showing the ball. And a net loss of about 2 yards. Back on the quarter line. Cox. Fahd. Strong, aggressive running young forward.
Yes, and a welcome from his former teammates, being a Canterbury player last year, Fahd.
Lamb steps. Oh, only just tripped legally by Baitieri with a dive. Mountier. Fahd. Arthur Mountier is a very good dummy half. He's a good passer of the football. There's a Cox kick. It's gone high in the air. Who's got it? And over the dead ball line. It was lying there for a long while, inviting somebody to land on it. And just lay there for quite a long while. I think that West player was impeded in the in goal, but the referee judged it not to affect the run of play. Not such a long drop kick. Lamb takes it. On the halfway line, midfield, English, one of the tacklers. Merlo. Developed this habit now of catching the ball and then extending his arms straight out. I think it's supposed to be half a dummy. Pass from Leabeater to Merlo looked marginally forward. Mountier. Now it comes along the line to Lamb. Steps. Robinson there to crack him to the ground. Cox. Oh, that's a shocking pass. It's on the ground. Who's gone for it? Michael Pinkerton had to dive back for it. He's the replacement for Stevie Broughton, who is a casualty in this game. Canterbury lead. They try to S.Mortimer. Come up with a scrum win here. Brentnall, Garry Hughes. Doing a lot of crisscross work, not much forward progress. As Brentnall comes up with it again. About 4 passes taken and given. And no ground gain. Garry Hughes. Little dummy. Has Baitieri. Very high work rate, this fellow. S.Mortimer, Garry Hughes. And another one of the Mortimer clan. Even screeching out the West players. What's that dummy half as English ran from there? S.Mortimer, little grubber kick through. He's been impeded. That'll be a penalty probably. It will. See it again. S.Mortimer comprehensively interfered with. Mountier actually charged the yard to get to him. I'm not so sure Conlon was set on impeding his progress. Rep's kick, a very good one. 11 yards out from the west line. Baitieri back inside nicely there to Mortimer. Chris. English is a dummy half. Yes, a good bustling run from Brennan.
Baitieri is the injured Canterbury player.
Well, here's Robinson charging on the wounded Buffalo. He's only 5 yards out. Baitieri receiving treatment as Barry has mentioned. Garry Hughes. Nobody to pass to that way. Let's try the other way. Back to Folks, then to Hughes. That pass looked a little bit marginal. Still 5 yards out from West line. S.Mortimer, Garry Hughes, the dummy, still going, gets his pass away nicely to Brentnall. Last tackle, look for a bop. There's a little chip over the top by S.Mortimer, and he effects a good tackle there to keep West in there in goal on Terry Lamb. So Canterbury, by that ploy, get the ball back from the line dropout. Unless, of course, West can grubber it over the sideline or force an error. Wayne Smith with not a terribly impressive drop kick. Armstrong midfield. Gone right through the middle. He'll score. It's easy. Right through the middle. Chris Anderson would have liked to have scored that one himself. That's the replacement. Oh dear, Western Suburbs. That was awful. See it again. He's a former West player. He's gone between 2 of them. Oh, it was like a giant, the parting of the water in the Red Sea. From head on, just watch how large this gap yawns. Drops it behind. It's shoveled onto Armstrong. Now he switched. Look at this. Bless my soul. Canterbury a very handy lead, 8 points to 0. Very firmly has a worried look and needs to have one 8-0 down with 10 minutes to half time. West coach doing it hard. S.Mortimer. Nice pass out there to Folks. Gearin. Lamb's tackle effective. Farrar. English. Garry Hughes. Bit of shepherding there. There's 2 points gift. See Garry Hughes, he stuttered and stammered there and went behind one of his own players. See it again, a good decision by the referee, Gosha. You see Garry Hughes bumped behind S.Mortimer. Greg Cox only about 2 yards off centre. He's about 16 yards out. That's Western Suburbs' first points, 8-2 with 9 minutes to half-time. Farrar kicks off. It's going to roll into the end goal and probably go dead. It does. Restart from the quarter with a tap. Merlo. Mountier. A little bit overcast now. Arber has got to start looking to unload. It's useless just making forward progress, and it's just not good enough. Cox sold a bit of a dump to Fahd there. Merlo, Cox, Wayne Smith, nicely timed pass out to Anderson. A big Repl on this lad, the Western Suburbs club. Merlo, Fahd, back to Merlo. Defence too good. No, he's still managed to get a pass away at the Boland, who's got a bit of side space. Trying to go round his man, does it nicely and gets it to Conlon. Conlon gets a pass back inside the Lamb, and Lamb's in for a try. That's a good one. Boland to be commended. He sucked the defence to him and then unloaded on the outside. It was very good stuff. See it again. Started with a good release of a ball after seemingly in an impossible position. Merlo there. As we pick up the action now, watch Boland coming away from the sideline and then back out again. Sucked the defence to him. Conlon's pass selectively on the inside to Lamb looked very good, but I had a slight inclination it might have been fractionally forward. We'll be able to see Merlo unload at this point. That's how he did it. Nicely to Duke. Long floating pass out to Boland, who had a bit of side space. In and away. Forced that defender to come to him. Back into Lamb, who's got a bit of pace off the mark. Cox's third attempt. Well, he straightened it up well towards the end, but it started way up to the left, and the score remains Canterbury 8, Wests 5. Farrar, when he starts, with 5 minutes to half-time. Smith. It's gone off the side of his boot a bit. Gearin takes it well. We're looking for our tackle of the week in the corrugated paper tackle of the week competition. We've had some superb instances of critical tackles all through the season. Some marvellous awards in that one. Also looking for our best player of the match. He'll be called the King G Footballer of the Week. He'll receive $400, appear on Sportswood the following week. All those weekly award winners will be judged by the Controversy Corner panel. Robinson comes up with a strong charge. Eventually we'll arrive at the Mazda Footballer of the Year, and what a prize for that man. Magnificent Mazda RX-7 sports car valued at $17,524. The player responsible for the King G try of each match, $150, little knock on there. At the end of the year, the player responsible for the Mazda Try of the Year. Another magnificent prize, Mazda 626 sedan, valued at $9,564. Western Suburbs come up with another scrum win. The scrums at this stage are 4-2 in West's favour. The penalties are 4-3 Canterbury's way. Pinkerton coming midfield. Merlo. Boland to Leabeater. What a good tackle. by Chris Mortimer. Error situation, 5-all. They're keeping pretty close together. Number of times each side's given it back. Lamb. Conlon. Got a pass away to Fahd. Then on to Duke. Duke back on the inside. It's knocked down. 6 to go. West still come up with it. Over the halfway line. Canterbury quick to regroup. Fahd goes on the blind side to Cox. Out to Pinkerton. About 3 minutes to go. Western Suburbs, just around about the halfway line. Conlon. Nicely. Merlo. Anderson picked off without being able to get to his stride. Canterbury come up with the error. Brentnall was tackled by Boland out wide. Mortimer. Garry Hughes. Baitieri. Unloaded. Nearly knocked on. Picked up beautifully by Steve Mortimer. He's found a hole to go along. Unloads nicely out to Armstrong. The kick ahead. It's a chase. It's over the sideline, is it? No. Pinkerton has it. Well, plenty of ball movement at the moment. Some of the West players still coming back on side. Wayne Smith from dummy half. Up to the quarter line. About a minute and a half to go. 8-5. Canterbury lead. Merlo. Nicely taken by Lamb. He sets sails up midfield. He's right in the clear. He's got Conlon in support. It's a try. Conlon's under the post, is he? Peter Mortimer's after him. He won't get to him. It's a magnificent... Oh, would you believe it? Would you believe it? I have never seen that happen. Conlon can't believe it. Watch this. He's got the ball knocked out of his hands by Peter Mortimer at the end of a magnificent bit of football by Western Suburbs. Lamb has gapped them up the middle, sucked Brentnall to him perfectly. Now watch it. It was never on. He should never have had this try taken away. He's dived and knocked his arm, and effort proves its own reward. An incredible occurrence. If West's beaten on the result of not getting that try, they'll have something to say to Conlon, I would think. Look at this. The final stages of it as Mortimer dives. Oh, dear, oh, dear, oh, dear. Western Suburbs remain down at half-time, 5 points to 8. For back with ball. The same in just a moment on 7. And away we go for the second half. Canterbury hanging on to this lead, 8 points to 5. Western Suburbs having butchered a 5-pointer only a couple of minutes before half-time. And Barry Ross has been in both dressing rooms. And were there any terse words spoken in the West dressing room?
Yes, very terse words in the Western Suburbs dressing room, Rex. Terry Fernley extremely angry, and he didn't have to say too much. A lot of the players realised they'd made a lot of handling errors, and that's what he pointed out. He that try from Conlon, and I suppose that's all that had to be said, because Conlon certainly knew that there was 5 points gone being there. Fernley also pointed out to his side that they've got to keep their forward plan in operation, to take Canterbury on through the forwards and to tackle very, very hard. Ted Gossett, meanwhile, he pointed out, he opened his talk to the boys, that this was the 1982 effort, that the next 40 minutes would make or break Canterbury for the rest of this year. He said that they've got to stick to their game plan in attack and work with their words, work with their moves.
All right, Western Suburbs in possession just inside their half, about 5 yards from halfway. Fahd tackle now about 3 yards there. Mountier, you'll see a dummy half most of the time. Cox, nice pass out to Duke. That pass looked a fraction forward, but Anderson takes it. The referee says play on. Pinkerton. Cox, little scurrying run. And that's the 6. Let's have a look at the Arthur Mountier situation. Scrum is 201 from 377. A good success rate of 53.3%. That's one off him. Garry Hughes, well tackled. Terry Lamb, the man. Brentnall, that's a pass away to Peter Mortimer. That was an interesting pickup by Baitieri there, one-handed off the ground. Long pass out there, and again Armstrong hits hard and well by Pinkerton. Crowd calling a referee Gosha to get West back to 5. Brentnall elects to kick. Smith way over his head. It's a magnificent kick. Down Smith well and truly wanting there. It's easier, I always feel, as a fullback to run forward to a kick. In other words, be a little deeper rather than have to turn and go back for it. Smith perhaps might have learnt that lesson. There's a clean scrum into Canterbury. Little grubber kick through. Brentnall's on the chase. It's a try. Very thoughtful, very clever. In the opening 3 minutes of the second half, Canterbury strike hard near the post, and a clever bit of football from Garry Hughes, who's got a smile on his face like a watermelon at the moment. Look at this little grubber, beautiful. Brentnall on his shoulder, obviously a planned move. Watch it from head on. Now Brentnall and he have obviously chatted about that. Brentnall herring after it. And a good try, excellent try. Gearin's 4th attempt at goal. Well, he's hit the uprights from there. Now he is one of the solidest goal kickers around. And away she goes. Melrose hit the post yesterday for Souths against St George. Canterbury 11, West 5. Conlon. Bouncing around. Brentnall takes it very casually on the quarter line. And unloads a bad pass. Oh, and Mountier is knocked on. Play on, says the referee. And West come up with it again, so the knock on is the ruling. That was going to be very dangerous for Canterbury if Mountier had been able to pick it up. A slack pass from Brentnall then. That's a scrum into Canterbury. Well, Gary Collison, the reserve hooker for Western Suburbs, they're on standby, but Mountier seems to be okay. Canterbury working the play away. Gary Hughes picks it out of the air as Robinson dropped it. S.Mortimer. Just inside his quarter. English from dummy half. 11 points to 5. 11 minutes gone in the second half. Canterbury lead. Brentnall will clear the air with a kick. It's out by about 5 feet. Brentnall claiming that he was interfered with, I think. Referee Gosha not impressed. Now, Wayne Smith has taken a position opposite Brentnall on the blind side of the scrum, standing flat on a Canterbury put-in.
Yes, with a halfback like Steve Mortimer to put it in.
To me, that's a cardinal positional error. And Mortimer dropped the ball. There's a Canterbury scrum win, and Cox has come up with it. Merlo did the complete pirouette then. Mountier. They're going to need to be more imaginative from that to break this Canterbury defence. Merlo. Cox. Conlon couldn't handle it. Folks has it. And what did Terry Fernley say at half-time, Barry Ross?
Well, mostly about that sort of thing, about dropping the ball.
I was being facetious. Obviously, they didn't listen to what he was talking about. Errors. They've made 4 major blunders in the opening 12 minutes of the second half. Canterbury defence, one of the high points of this game. And the 3 very good tries they've scored. Brentnall, and he's going to give the penalty against Brentnall for going behind Robinson. I don't really think he impeded the defence coming. There was no Western Suburbs defender. Mountier was the only one within a bull's roar. Greg Cox, fourth attempt, only one success so far. That's another 2 points to Western Suburbs. 11-7 now with 15 minutes of this second half gone. There's Pat English's statistics, 157 for 335. That's a success rate of below 50. There's a nice bit of football by Western Suburbs coming up as Conlon surges away at the clear. He's got a lot of pace, this lad. He's going to score a try. I don't believe anyone will get to him. Armstrong does towards the end, and it's a fine try. Started back deep in the Western Suburbs quarter, putting them 1 point away with a kick and goal to follow, and well worth a second look. And there it started with Conlon surging through nicely, showed a lot of pace. It's a fine try. Good backing up there from Pinkerton on the outside as support from head on. Geoff sucks Garry Hughes to him. And pass to Smith, then out to Lamb. Conlon's acceleration there. Fine young player, this lad. Useful goal kicker too. That's going to be a very... he'd be pretty happy about that one. Greg Cox now from 5 yards inside the quarter, about 20 yards in from the sideline, kicking into the breeze. Important kick. And it's straight over the black dot, so Western Suburbs have come back with a rush in the last couple of minutes and surged now to a 1 point lead, 12-11. Canterbury now the restart with Farrar kicking off. Smith, who is involved with that last try, gets it downfield. Go to Brentnall on the second or third bounce. Now all the Western Suburbs players are offside. A torpedo punt, not a bad one into the breeze. Greg Cox made the error of touching that, and that automatically put all the Canterbury players onside. And is he hurt, or is he waiting till his team get back onside? I don't believe he was hurt in that tackle. I may be doing him an injustice. See the tackle again. He touched it on the way down. He was put down fairly gently, I thought, although Brennan came over the top. As they say in the trade, he did a Belmore. Mountier, a little bust from dummy half. That's probably the furthest he's run in the last 10 seasons. Arber, who's disappointed me a little today. He hasn't been involved in unloading the ball very much. Lamb's kick, not quite good enough. Brentnall has it. Good player, this fella. Got a little punch there. Got a bit of a serve in the tackle. S.Mortimer, Garry Hughes. Nice pass out to Farrar on the run around to Armstrong. Finally out to Gearin. Ball lost behind, play on. Brennan comes up with it. 12-11, West lead, Canterbury-Bankstown. Is this the end of the Bulldogs in 1982? Folks. S.Mortimer. Beautiful run, he's got into the clear and loaded nicely to Armstrong, who ran back about 5 yards the other way. Maybe he was disorientated, lobbed a pass. Oh, it's been knocked on by Mortimer. There was something on out there too. There was a gap yawning out there, and Boland was the only black and white jumper in front. Possession over these dying stage is going to be critical. 18.5 minutes to go. Penalty to West. Moving over the mark. Error situation. Canterbury 10, West's 9. The number of times each side's given the ball back. Up to the halfway line. Cox, Lamb, Merlo. was not as hard as it looked. The crowd went, ooh. Garry Hughes' tackle didn't go on with it. Fahd. Lamb. Merlo really winding up. Mountier searching on the blind side for Leabeater.
Canterbury getting a replacement ready, Downie.
Greg Cox. I think he's Little Shepherd. I thought he pulled a muscle away. He stopped there like a startled rabbit. He must have realised he was going to get pinged for the Shepherd. S.Mortimer. He's heavily tackled by Merlo by Arber on the quarter line. English. Brennan. Downie getting warmed up there. He's going to be brought on as a replacement, number 15. And Canterbury with about 15.5 minutes to go. Trial by the point. There's the nice move back on the inside with Farrar coming. They do a lot of that, Canterbury, switching the play out among the centres. S.Mortimer. Lovely floating pass. Oh, it's got to be something here. Oh, it's been knocked down. It'll be 6 to go. S.Mortimer picks it up. He manages to do that. The pass was just delayed. I think that the winger, Armstrong, would have probably scored in the corner. S.Mortimer. Pretending he's a front row forward. Robinson. About 15 yards out from the Western Suburbs line. Well, they knew that move, but he's still got a pass away. Who's it got now? Leabeater's got it. West were well and truly waiting for that switch back to the player coming up the middle of the ruck. Duke. Mountier. Merlo. Nice pass to Fahd. Clouds of dust. Mountier. Slowing it down. Cox goes the blind side. Smith elected to kick. Well, perfect bounce. Brentnall had no chance. Way over. West running along the three-quarter line. Merlo chimes in. So he can't release it on the halfway line. Boland. Michael Duke. Mountier throws the dummy. West have got a very deep V formation. Leabeater, Fahd. Unloads back to Leabeater. And on the inside again to Cox. Good play by West. They're keeping it moving and moving forward. Lamb. Terrible pass. It's on the ground. Who's got it? Anderson. Last tackle. Way to Fahd. And that's the 6.
Behind the grandstand and someone wants to get out. That's the under the D-A-R-O tackle 4.
Canterbury, S.Mortimer of Fahd. It's their ball. Cuts out a man with a pass. Farrar. About 9 yards from halfway. Armstrong. The West defence must stand the test. Baitieri winding up. Robinson couldn't unload. S.Mortimer. Folks. Farrar. Folks again. Baitieri. Garry Hughes. Nice pass to Brentnall. He's caught by one leg. It's the line out of English. English back inside to Gearin. Gearin searching for open space, and that's the 6. That's Western Suburbs scrum win. Cox just takes the tackle. Merlo. Lamb, nice quick hands. Oh, beautiful from Smith to Conlon. Conlon accelerating well. 2 lovely passes there, quickly taken and given. Now, Smith. Lamb. Merlo had to reach way behind him to take that. Mountier. Lamb. Arber. Ten yards from Canterbury's quarter. Fahd. Just putting his head down a bit too much. Needs to start to think in terms of unloading. Field goal attempt by Cox. It's there. That's a good one. Terry Lamb was it, I'm sorry. 13 points to 11. Western Suburbs, see that again, nicely taken. Yes, a top kick, got it rolling end over end.